Last week, we discussed the history of inoculation, specifically variolation, as a precursor for vaccination. The history of vaccination is the topic of this week's Healthcare Triage. Last week, we ended with the world's first vaccinations in the late 1700s, when cowpox material was used to induce smallpox immunity. After this, it was quite a while before any new vaccines appeared on the scenes. We saw the first laboratory-developed vaccine in 1879 when Louis Pasteur weakened cholera bacteria in the laboratory for use in an immunization. He accidentally discovered that this was possible when his assistant forgot to inject chickens with a fresh batch of bacteria before a holiday, injecting the chickens instead when he returned a month later. These chickens survived, showing only mild symptoms, and later proved to be immune to further infection. Pasteur figured out that the bacteria had been weakened by the prolonged oxygen exposure, thus creating a less deadly but still effective antigen. Other lab-based vaccine advancements followed, including the weakening of anthrax bacteria with carbolic acid, weakening of rabies virus via the drying of infected nervous system tissue from rabbits, weakening of diphtheria toxin and cholera bacteria by heat treatment, and weakening of a measles virus strain by passing it several times, like 40 to 80 times, through different cell types.
A vaccine is a biological product designed to stimulate the immune system to fight specific infections or diseases. Vaccines typically contain components of the disease-causing microorganism, such as proteins, inactivated toxins, or weakened microorganisms. This trains the body to recognize and combat the pathogen if exposed in the future. Vaccination is an effective method for preventing infectious diseases and protecting public health.
Islamic views on vaccines. The vast majority of Islamic scholars and organizations endorse vaccination is a vital tool for public health. This aligns with core Islamic principles. Preservation of life. Islamic priorities protecting human life. Vaccines demonstrably prevent serious diseases and deaths, fulfilling this principle. Taking precaution. The Quran encourages preventive measures against harm. Vaccination embodies this concept by preventing illness. Social responsibility. Muslims have a duty to protect the community. Vaccination safeguards not just individuals but also reduces disease transmissions.
If you're a person who's not interested in the news and the claims and my opinion, your opinion, and your madhab and my madhab, and you just want to follow the senior scholars, which is a very safe thing to do, then in 1992 on the 14th of May, the Majma' al-Fiqh al-Islami, which is the premier fiqh council that gathers all of the major scholars of the world into one body, in its third session, they passed a resolution, a qarar, that states, it is permissible for the ruler to obligate medical treatment on a case-by-case basis, such immunization programs, and against the spread of infectious diseases, i.e. vaccinations. It is obligatory to follow effectively the ruler who puts that in place. Now that is assuming that statement itself is behind all of that is them knowing that their interpretation of the safety, their interpretation of the data, their interpretation of risks, short-term and long-term, once they've made their decision and they obligate it, you have to follow it. If you want to follow the Islamic position, then that's what it is. That's not my opinion. That's not your opinion. It's not the political opinion. That's the scholars of all madhabs, all representatives of every country in the Majma' al-Fiqh al-Islami. That was done in 1992. That was without anybody realizing that there are financial issues or problems and stresses and whatever. Imagine what they would say right now. In fact, you don't need to. In this current sitting, they've said this and far more than that as well.
In general, Islam's view on vaccines is that they are permissible and even recommended. This is based on several reasons. First, protecting oneself from illness. Vaccines are proven to be effective in preventing various dangerous diseases such as measles, polio, and diphtheria. Protecting oneself from illness is one of the primary goals of Islamic law. As evidenced by the Prophet Muhammad SAW, verily Allah has sent down a cure for every disease, so seek out the treatment except for one disease, death. Safeguarding public health. Vaccination not only protects individuals but also helps to maintain overall community health. With more people vaccinated, the chances of infectious diseases spreading decrease. Prophet Muhammad SAW also said, "No one is ever harmed by another's action except by their own actions or by bearing the burden of another's sin that they committed." And last, utilizing advancements in knowledge. Islam encourages its followers to utilize knowledge and technology for good. Vaccines are a product of scientific progress that can benefit humanity. Allah SWT says in the Quran in Surah Yunus, "Say increase my knowledge."
The vaccine is halal. It does not contain any animal products. It does not contain any alcohol. It does not contain any human products. So if that is something that you're worried about, it simply isn't true. And I know there are lots of stories and bits of misinformation going around on social media about this, but they do not contain any animal or human products. And I've had mine, and I'm a Muslim. I'm quite confident that they are safe. And our religious leaders from Islam have said that we should take these because people from minority ethnic backgrounds have been disproportionately affected by the coronavirus. We've seen people from our communities die in higher numbers. So this vaccine is really important for us.
Have you already watched the videos explaining vaccines from an Islamic perspective? We hope they will help you all in ensuring a harmonious life. Thank you for watching. Until we meet again in the future. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.